Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is using a condom made in Malaysia. In fact, every fifth condom on the planet comes from this one small Southeast Asian country. Not Germany, not the United States, not China, Malaysia. And if that surprises you, wait until you hear how it happened. Because this story isn't just about contraceptives, it's about how a family rubber plantation, a global economic crash, and a deadly pandemic combined to build a billion-dollar empire that now supplies the world. If you've ever used a Durex, you've used a Malaysian product. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll never look at economic history the same way again. The numbers. Let's start with the numbers, because they are genuinely jaw-dropping. Malaysia is home to Karex Berhad, the single largest condom manufacturer on Earth. One company. One country. Over 5 billion condoms produced every single year. To put that in perspective, that's enough condoms to wrap around the Earth more than 20 times. Karex exports to over 140 countries and supplies to some of the world's biggest brands, including Durex, one of the most recognized condom brands on the planet. Now, recent trade data shows that Thailand has grown to challenge Malaysia's top export position. But here's what matters. No single company anywhere in the world manufactures more condoms than Karex. That title still belongs to Malaysia. According to academic research published in the Thailand International Trade Journal, Malaysia was the world's single largest condom exporter for years, at one point supplying 41% of all condoms procured by the Global Fund to Fight AIDS. That's not a side industry. That's global health infrastructure. So how did a country of 33 million people become the rubber glove and condom capital of the world? It starts with trees. The rubber foundation. Malaysia's story begins in the colonial era, when the British introduced rubber plantations across the peninsula in the early 1900s. The climate was perfect, hot, humid, with rich tropical soil. Rubber trees thrived. By the mid-20th century, Malaysia was one of the world's leading producers of natural latex rubber. Rubber was everything. It built roads, funded infrastructure, and made fortunes. But here's the thing about commodities: their prices collapse. And in the mid-1980s, that's exactly what happened. The global commodities crash hit Malaysia's rubber sector hard. Plantation owners who had grown wealthy were suddenly watching their income evaporate. They had two choices: adapt or disappear. And one family in the southern state of Johor chose to adapt in a way nobody expected. The Go family and birth of Karex. The Go family had been in Malaysia since the 1920s. Chinese immigrants who set up a small shop in Johor, accepting rubber from local farmers as payment when cash was scarce. Over time, they built their own rubber processing factory. By the 1980s, the family business was run by patriarch Go Huang Chiat. When rubber prices crashed, his UK-educated sons, Go Siang and Go Leng Kian, saw an opportunity where others saw disaster. One had a degree in chemical engineering, the other in mechanical engineering. Together, they made a bold decision: pivot the family's rubber expertise into manufacturing condoms. In 1988, they founded Karex Berhad. And the timing? Almost impossibly perfect. The HIV/AIDS epidemic was sweeping the globe. International health organizations, the WHO, the UN, the Global Fund, were scrambling to procure millions of condoms for distribution in developing countries. Demand was exploding. supply was limited. The Joe brothers had the rubber, the engineering knowledge, and the infrastructure. They didn't just buy condom machines, they built their own from scratch. That gave them a massive cost advantage that competitors couldn't easily replicate. By the 1990s, Karex was scaling fast. By the 2000s, they were the dominant supplier to international health agencies. By 2014, they were listed on the Kuala Lumpur Stock Exchange. And by the time COVID-19 hit in 2020, when Karex briefly shut down due to Malaysia's lockdown, the world noticed immediately. Headlines across the BBC, Reuters, and CNN warned of a global condom shortage. A single factory in Malaysia. A global crisis. That's how central this company had become. Before we get into the 4 reasons why Malaysia specifically dominated this industry, if you're finding this story as insane as I did, hit subscribe right now. We drop economic deep dives like this every week, and you don't want to miss the next one. Now, back to it. Why Malaysia? 4. Advantages. Karex's rise wasn't just about one smart family. It was built on 4 structural advantages that Malaysia uniquely offered. Number 1. Natural rubber. Malaysia still produces some of the highest quality natural latex in the world. Proximity to raw material means lower costs and faster production cycles. For a product that is almost entirely made of latex, this is a decisive edge. Number 2. Geography. Sitting at the crossroads of Asia and the Indian Ocean, Malaysian ports connect efficiently to Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and the rest of Asia. Shipping costs are lower. Delivery is faster. In a high-volume, low-margin business that matters enormously. Number 3. Government support. The Malaysian government actively cultivated export-oriented manufacturing. Tax incentives, R&D grants, and support for health sector exports helped Karex and the broader condom industry grow without the regulatory friction that strangled competitors elsewhere. Number 4. Institutional demand. Organizations like the Global Fund, USAID, and the United Nations Population Fund buy condoms in the billions for distribution in developing nations. These aren't retail purchases, they're massive government contracts. Malaysia positioned itself early as the reliable, quality supplier for these contracts. Once you're embedded in global health procurement infrastructure, the contracts keep coming. The bigger picture. Here's the economy angle that makes this story so powerful. The global condom market is currently valued at $13.5 billion and is projected to reach $26 billion by 2035, growing at nearly 6% per year. That's not a niche market. That's serious money. And Malaysia, through Karex and dozens of supporting manufacturers, has been riding this wave for over 3 decades. The 4th generation of the Go family, led by CEO Go Maya Kiat, is now steering the company into direct-to-consumer brands, premium condom segments, and medical device manufacturing catheters, ultrasound probe, covers, expanding far beyond the original product. What started as a survival strategy during an economic collapse became a global empire. And the lesson here is one of the most powerful in economic history. When your core commodity collapses in value, go up the value chain. Rubber was worth pennies per kilogram. A condom made from that rubber sells for dollars. The Go family understood this. Malaysia institutionalized it. That's why the next time you hear someone say a small country can't build a global industry, you tell them about Johor, 1988, and a family that built condom machines from scratch and ended up supplying the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most unexpected economic success stories in the world, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. And if you want more stories like this small countries, underdog industries, and the economic decisions that changed the world, subscribe right now. Hit the bell too, so you never miss an episode. We cover these stories every week. Drop a comment below. What other industry dominant story do you want us to cover next? I read every one. See you in the next video.